Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Travis and this is Bacon and Backpacking, and I'm really excited for today's episode because I'm going to be showing you ultralight backpacking gear for under $50. So let's get into it. This is the BRS titanium stove. You can get this thing on Amazon. It's about $18 usually, and this little guy only weighs 1 ounce, and the thing just works. So this thing's a heck of a steal for only 1 ounce. It folds down, you know, next to the size of nothing. It's got this little carrying case with it, so good deal on this thing. All right, so staying on the theme of cookware, I've done a whole bunch of different things. I've probably spent more money on like cook sets than anything else, but I finally narrowed it down to the perfect size setup. So this is the Toaks 750 milliliter pot. You have to watch. They have one that's shorter and like wider. This is obviously the tall one. I really like this thing. It's about $35 and it only weighs about 3.5 ounces. So I like this because it's got the lid on the top of it with the little vents in it right here. So it'll vent off gas whenever you're boiling. And then it's got this little thing up here that you can, you know, use a stick to pull that hot lid off your pot whenever you're cooking. Really like this thing. It's graduated. It has markings on it if you want to be technical, you know, with the amount of water that you need to use. But again, this thing just works. I use it for all my cooking, and it's the right weight at the right price. This is actually my food bag, and this is from Hilltop Packs. So these things range, you know, anywhere from like, I think $35 up to maybe like $60 or $70. This one is custom printed, so it does fall outside of the $50 range. But they make like template ones, like, you know, kind of like pre-made templates that I think are under $50. And then if you just get like a plain color, they're under $50 as well. This thing is super light for a food bag. I think it weighs between like 1.1 to 1.3 ounces, depending on, you know, which model you pick. They have these in Dyneema and Eco Pack. The Eco Pack is slightly heavier, but again, you're still coming in sub 2 ounces. Which is pretty good. You know, I can fill this thing up with enough food to last me 4 or 5 days. And if you look here, it's a roll top. And then up top, you can seal it off just like a dry bag. And it's really nice too, being Dyneema, because it's actually a waterproof food bag. So when you hang this thing at night, all your stuff's not gonna get soaked. And then you have this little loop right here for hanging it from a, you know, a tree or whatever apparatus you're using to do your food hang. But these things are super cool. Love Hilltop Packs. Next up is the Fitness City Spork. So you could just get like some plastic silverware, you know, from a fast food restaurant like KFC or something like that. But this thing comes in, it's still less than 1 ounce, so it's not much heavier than a plastic one. And the thing that I like is this long handle right here. If you have like the freeze-dried meals, this allows you to kind of get down into those bags and not get like sauce and stuff all over your fingers. So I prefer the titanium one with the long handle. Like I said, you could go even cheaper and you could just do like the plastic ware, but for only 18 bucks and less than 1 ounce, really like this thing. All right, we talked about food. Let's talk about water. So I don't like using, you know, reusable water containers most of the time just because they're heavy. I mean, an empty Nalgene bottle's like 6 ounces empty or something like that. I usually roll with either the Smart Water bottles or the Life Water bottles. They're both about the same. These things are pretty tough. I've dropped them on rocks while full, never busted one or anything. And we usually, you know, reuse these quite a few times until they get pretty nasty, and then I chuck them. But so you're not really losing too much there as far as like the environment. But these things weigh about 1.5 ounces a piece. So I mean, these things are gonna save you like a ton of weight instead of buying like a hard plastic water bottle. All right, next up, we're just talking about like little ditty bags. So just so you guys are aware, there's absolutely nothing wrong with using like a Ziploc bag for some of your organization of your smaller gear. That's perfectly fine. Honestly, the reason I like having these is, you know, just to make me laugh. This thing's hilarious. This is my poop kit. Keeps everything organized in here. I do like my first aid kit being red. That way, you know, if I need to get to it quickly, there's no doubt as to which bag's the first aid kit. But these things are, you know, a little bit more durable than like a Ziploc bag. They're made out of Dyneema, so they are pretty much waterproof. And I mean, they're only 20 bucks a piece, so, you know, not too bad. And what ends up happening is you know, you're going to save on waste because you don't have to keep like throwing these things out. You can just keep using the same one. I've had these over a year. They don't have a tear in them or anything like that. But again, you can get these ones are from Space Bear Bags, or you could get them from, you know, Hilltop Packs, a lot of other companies that make very similar stuff. All right, guys. guys, so next up, got to be able to see in the dark on our trips, right? So here I have two different models of the Nitecore NU25 headlamp. So this one is mine. This is the older version where it has actually the full headband on it. Like, statistically speaking, they're pretty much about the same. I think this one weighs 2 ounces, right on the money, and then Sarah's I think is like 1.7 or something like that, because it has this interesting like cordage headband on it. And the funny thing is, people used to take these things, like the Ultralight folks, and they'd shave a ½ an ounce off of it by doing like a DIY headband. So Nitecore actually just started making these this way, and Sarah's behind the camera right now, but you said this is comfortable enough, right? Like, it's not...
It is. I think I'd prefer a strap personally.
Okay.
Especially just for staying over hats and stuff.
Gotcha. So apparently this one's like a ½ an ounce lighter, but slightly less comfortable. So, do what you want, but either way, they're about $35 to $40, and they both weigh under 2 ounces. Pretty good headlamp. These are rechargeable, so you don't have to bring extra batteries. Obviously, you do have to carry like a charging cord, but a charging cord is lighter than spare batteries. And if you're already bringing like a power brick or something to recharge your phone, you probably have to recharge this maybe like every 3 days or something. All right, next up, it's good to have like a little camp towel. So this is an REI microfiber towel. They make different sizes, and obviously they cost different amounts. But anyways, this one right here weighs about ½ an ounce, and it is $9. So now if your entire tent gets soaked, this probably isn't going to clean it up. But if you've got like a little bit of condensation, or you had a spill, need to clean something up with like your cook set, stuff like that, it's just nice to have. I've actually used this for like water crossings whenever, I just took off my footwear and just went barefoot, and I actually use this to dry off both my feet. And so it's good enough for that. But for, ½ an ounce and $9, definitely a good piece of kit to have with you. All right, and next up is our water filtration. This is the Sawyer Squeeze, which is actually the most popular water filtration system, for ultralight backpacking. I'm not going to go super in depth into this because I have multiple different types of water filters, and they all serve like different purposes with different, pros and cons, okay? But overall, this is probably the most popular, and in this configuration, which is bringing one water bag and just the filter itself, this weighs about 3.5 ounces. You can usually pick up these kits between about $30 to $35, depending on what bells and whistles you get with them. Okay, I will say I'm not a huge fan of these water bags, and I actually have a replacement coming for this, but that's for a different video. Overall, can't really go wrong with the Squeeze. I am going to do, like I said, a more in-depth video comparing like the Squeeze to the Grail, and some additional like aftermarket things you can buy to make this an even better system. But for all intents and purposes, can't really go wrong here. All right, up next we've got our rain gear. So this is actually the Frog Togs Ultralight 2 rain jacket. You can pick these up for $20 at Walmart. I will say that you don't see me wearing the pants because the pants are garbage. I tore mine up putting them on the first time, so the pants are literally garbage. But I will say I've been using this all year. I haven't torn a hole in the jacket yet. It's good enough, and the coolest thing about it is, like I said, it's $20 and it weighs about 6 ounces just for the jacket. I would pick up a different pair of pants if you're looking to have rain pants or a rain kilt, or maybe like a poncho or something. Frog Togs also makes a poncho. That poncho weighs 9 ounces, but for the price and for the weight and the functionality, pretty hard to beat the Frog Togs. All right, now we gotta discuss footwear. So these are darn tough socks. Now they make so many different sizes in every cut you can imagine, from like ankle socks all the way up to like boot cut, stuff like that. They make different thicknesses for summer, for Scandinavian ratings, stuff like that. I will never buy another brand of socks ever again in my life. Now as far as weight, again, these could be 1.5 ounces if they're ankle socks. They could be up to 3 or 4 ounces if you're talking about like a thicker colder weather sock or something like that. The cheapest I've ever seen these is probably like $16, $18 a pair if you catch a good sale. Typically though, these are expensive. They're going to run about like $25 per pair, but they do have a lifetime warranty, and I have yet to tear a hole in a pair of darn tough socks. So there is something to be said for buy once, cry once, but they are under $50, so we put them in the video just because I thought they deserved the attention. All right, so up next are what I think are the best tent stakes on the market, in my opinion, just based off of what I've used. These are the MSR Groundhogs, okay? You can get these in, shorter or longer length. Basically, these things weigh a little bit less than 1/2 ounce a piece, and if you buy like a 6-pack of them, I think it's like $25 or $26. But I've hammered these things in pretty rocky ground through roots, rocks, stuff like that, and even into some frozen ground recently, and these stayed straight when some other stakes bent. So really can't complain with these things. So MSR groundhogs, probably the best stakes you can buy. All right, so obviously if you have stakes, you need someplace to keep them, right? So this is another product from Hilltop Packs. This is just one of their, you know, stake bags basically. And as you can see, they also have funny print and stuff on here as well too. You can get these in all different sizes and styles and stuff like that. So they're anywhere from probably like $8 to $15 or something like that. But just go on their website, check them out, and see what they have. And actually, I just became a affiliate with Hilltop Packs, and I just like their gear a ton. They make a bunch of cool stuff. Obviously, we've got this food bag right here. I've got my steak bag. Sarah has some stuff from them as well too. I just ordered a stuff sack for my Helinox Chair Zero. That way my chair doesn't get soaked whenever it's raining. So I ordered a Dyneema, you know, bag for that as well too. They make dry bags, clothing bags, stuff sacks, all kinds of cool stuff. I'm actually going to drop a link down below in the description box. If you guys want to go check out some of their gear, you get 5% off. So go ahead and check that out. All right, and then one of the cheapest pieces of gear you can get is a trash compactor bag. There's a whole bunch of different options to, you know, waterproof your gear so it doesn't get wet. I prefer this, actually. You know, they make pack liners, they make pack covers. Pack covers are pretty much worthless because there's a big hole in it, right? So your stuff's going to get wet with a pack cover, so don't waste your money on one. But you can get a bag of, you know, trash compactor bags, probably 10 or 15 bucks, and that's literally like a lifetime supply. I've been using this bag for over a year now, and it doesn't have a single hole in it. I think Sarah finally just poked her first hole in hers, so you know, this will be her second bag in like a year. These things weigh about 2 ounces. For all intents and purposes, they are waterproof as long as you roll them down and tie them off, so they get the job done. All right, guys, well, thanks for tuning in. I hope some of these items on this list will, you know, help you out with your gear choices, help you lighten up your pack without spending a ton of money, because that was the purpose of the video. But if you guys liked what you saw here today, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you guys are really enjoying the content, go ahead and subscribe. I do all kinds of videos like this with like tips, tricks, hacks. I do gear reviews, and of course, I record my backpacking adventures as well too. If you guys want to go a little bit further in depth with talking to us, go ahead and join our Facebook group. It is called Backpacking Ohio and Beyond. We actually just organized our first annual trip. We'll be going to Dolly Sods, West Virginia, so I'd love to get a chance to, you know, meet some of you in person, hang out, do some hiking, do some camping, stuff like that. So feel free to join that group. I will put that link in the description box down below. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.